Since there is no ultimate good to defer to, you have to know what you want so that you can ask yourself the right questions.
There was a sculptor, and he found this stone, a special stone. And they said he had created a great statue. And the sculptor said he hadn't created anything. The statue was always there. We didn't make you this fighting machine. We just chipped away the rough edges.
I guess I'm not ready yet.
'79T 2458 Learning Corp. Little Red Riding Hood. Take one.
Look at that. Boys, is it Saturday already? It's Saturday already. So you're lighting. Oh, we're having fun today. We're going to have fun today. So I got to get a few things out of the way first. And after that, I'm going to go over, we're doing another episode on TRAD cons. It's just been too long. And, dude, it's worth, cause like it's lately it's a thing. It's a thing on both sides of the parallel. But first, to get things out of the way. For those of you who are listening to this on Spotify, yes, that's right, there's a Spotify. Link for that is, I'm pretty sure it's in the description. If not, I'll put it in there. The channel's I've finally decided to move everything over there and get it for you guys who have your morning commutes that don't want YouTube blasting on your phone. So yeah, I got you, fam. Link's in the description. Go check it out. Red Morning on Spotify. It's a couple episodes behind until I believe the end of next week we'll finally be at episode parity. We're getting caught up here. So that's good. Beyond that, I don't know if you know, but I got a new book. Well, I got many new books coming out, but every single one of them is awesome. Praxeology Volume 3, by the way, still going strong. The commercial for that was the trailer for today's video. Do check it out. It's nice, light reading for the red-pilled man. It's the Reader's Digest. It's toilet reading. You sit there in the John and you have a good story. It's a little more jargony. It's assuming that you've read Dread and Frame. But for those guys who have, it's like, yeah, that's great, but I would love to see like examples because it seems too abstract, even with the examples you put in them. Like, well, I got you, fam. It's all that. And if you have a taste for more, there's always the Substack. ryanstone.substack.com. Get on there. Anytime I'm releasing anything, anytime I'm doing anything where it's like, I wonder, is this new thing going to be any good? That's where you'll find out. It is the email newsletter, top of the funnel service. Like if I've done it, it will be posted there. It will be put up there. It's into your email. I don't waste your time. I don't just fill it with blather. There's always something useful in there, whether it's entertainment or information. Oh yeah, Dog Walker. Yeah. So Prax Volume 3 is doing great. Dog Walker isn't even out yet. Oh my God. I loved it so much I had to put a ticker in there. Let me get the thing here. Oh wait, what do I call it? Dog Walker. By the way, I've made some shorthand stuff, some 301 redirects on my website. So if you're ever not sure what the link is to stuff and you are curious, ryanstone.com/dogwalker/field reports/frame/dread/fuckfiles. All of it's right there. Much easier to get at than kindle.com Bravo Oscar Zulu. Yeah, none of that bullshit. But good friend of mine sent me, like, I asked him, like, dude, I don't know how to write a blurb. So Kristen McTiernan, fellow vet, although she's Marines, and which means technically she's part of the Navy, but you don't tell them that. They don't like hearing that at all. Hooked me up with that one, and I'm just gonna read it here because it's just so goddamn good. Because I was like, how do I appeal to somebody who's never heard of any of this stuff before, right? So Rex had spent his entire adult life running from the shadow of his stepfather, a womanizing, manipulative man who treated relationships like a game to be won. Now, with a successful career in the Navy and his own firm moral code, Rex tells himself he's nothing like the man who raised him. He's better than that. He has to be. But as Rex navigates the complex world of modern dating, analyzing every interaction and female behavior pattern like tactical data, he begins to see uncomfortable parallels. From married women to single mothers, fellow sailors, and bachelor party strippers. Each relationship forces him to question whether his calculated approach to romance is really so different from his stepdad's manipulations. In this groundbreaking exploration of contemporary romance from the male perspective, R.A. Stone delivers a brutally honest examination of love, self-deception, and the patterns we create, both to find connection and to avoid it. With sharp wit and brutal honesty, the Dog Walker challenges our assumptions about relationships while asking profound questions about authenticity, vulnerability, and the stories we tell ourselves about love. Fucking. It's much better than mine. What I had in there, I think, was the word test or placeholder. Yeah, so that's like it's an interesting summary of the Dog Walker. I think it's for the kind of person who's like, what the hell is this? It'll give them an idea on what the hell it is. It's not your typical manosphere book. It's an actual book. It's actual fiction. There's actual dialogue, actual characters, actual plot points. So I'm not preaching at all in this one. It's not going to be woke slop with the red veneer to it. It's going to be like real fiction, really good. And I have gotten started already on the next one. I don't have a working title for it yet. The sample one we got is something like Down on Your Luck on New Kowloon, or I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But it's going to be a nice little cyberpunk adventure. I'm actually going to release it to, there's a magazine, a pulp magazine that comes out, Double Dealer magazine. It's a right-wing one. And I'm like, I'll give you guys a little short story version of it. See if you guys like it. Oh, look at this. My welder takes a break, road trip through the desert while catching me live. Well, good to go, sir. Glad to hear your welder didn't bother showing up to work, the drunk bastard. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Like I said, it's when it comes to the sexual dynamics, when it comes to the red pill, when it comes to the male sexual strategy, I've said everything. There's nothing more to say. And I could repeat myself, and I'm sure that'll do very well. But for the most part, that's it. So it's like, what are next steps? The next steps is to entertain you guys, to make you guys have fun, to have you enjoy the process, because I'm just sick and tired of watching people in the anger phase being monetized in the anger phase. Oh, bro, you never get happy. Never. Because if you're happy, I don't get paid. Not going to mention any content creators in specific, but I mean, you know who they are. Just so you know, the women are bad and you are good, and they did this to you. I'm here for you, buddy. I got you, fam. Tease, I'm sure about what is. Well, we're gonna talk about that one from red pill perspective mostly. I'm not gonna do the politics thing. I'll save that for the Red Hawk episodes. But yeah, from red pill perspective, I think you'll like the TradCon stuff. Anyways, we're gonna leave off with this one. So those are gonna be great. You're gonna love those. You're gonna love Praxeology Volume 3. You're gonna love the Dog Walker. If you did love Fuck Files, which, and to be fair, if I look through my book library, out of all the books, Fuck Files is still the one that's done the best, which, again, is it the one I wish had done the best? Probably not. I would have liked the Praxeology stuff to do better, Frame and Dread, because they are ultimately more important, but it's not my place to say which one resonates with you guys best. So I'm like, you know what, in honor of this, I'm actually re-releasing Fuck Files, a 3rd edition. The infamous 13th missing chapter is in there again. So you're going to have, it's got like 20% new material. It's been touched up, new cover design, hardcover's finally done. Hardcover's done on everything, by the way. I know a lot of you guys have been like, when's the hardcover? When's the hardcover? All right, it's done. The hardcover for Prax 1, the hardcover for Prax 2. I think the hardcover for Prax 3, I have to double, actually, you know, I got it right here. Let me check. Hold up a second. What do I call it? Field reports. Yes, the hardcover for Prax 3, which, by the way, and for all of you autists or OCD people in the crowd, I made sure that if you get all of them, that the logos and the titles and the name and all that stuff lines up when you have them on the shelf. Because I know some of you guys are the type that gets really irritated where if like the rhinestone on this one and the rhinestone on this one are half a centimeter off and it's driving me nuts on a bookshelf 15 feet away. So I'm like, I got you. I've taken into account your need for balance in the Force, and we've accommodated. So it's good. Praxis more important? Aw, for the OCD among us? Yeah. Waxing on about Japanese feudal female ghost authors is pretty entertaining. Oh, yeah. That's Edo period stuff, isn't it? Back when, Japan got real, like, feminist for a while there, and, like, only women were writing. Because all the men were busy doing bureaucracy and stuff, and cheating was rampant. And, oh, man, it was like a brutal time. But it's, like, a really interesting period of history. All the degeneracy we see now, that's like, isn't that 15th century Japan? Yeah, kinda. Well, what happened to them? I don't know. Opium Wars? So audiobooks. That's the other thing. So I have to do an audiobook still for Dogwalker. I still have to do it for Prax Volume 3. And I have to update the fuck file ones. I think I can get away with just updating it with the new material, with the new chapters, and just slip it in and add it on. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the experience. So, but yeah, so it's really exciting. If you guys have ever been like, dude, I just want something nice that appeals to men, red pills, I got you, fam. The only reason I haven't written more books than Clary right now is because he has like 15. For some reason, he managed to slide another 7 in there that I didn't even know about. Random stuff. I have no idea if like they're how they are as far as like books. Like they're not pamphlets, I assume. But either way, like I think I'm tied with Rollo, or I will be if he doesn't come up with this new one once Dogwalker comes out. So that's pretty exciting. I like the idea that bam, more prolific than Rollo. It's got to be more prolific than Clary. Although Rich Cooper's still doing awesome out there. I was just looking. Dude, Unplugged Alpha? That book is still crushing it in the bookstore. So good on him. I'm taking a new, well, it's not taking a new, but I'm being more vocal about it right now, is where I realize a rising tide lifts all boats. Because a lot of the guys that I work with and have worked with in the past, they're very talented people, very sincere people. And I just, even if I disagree with them on specific aspects of their business versus mine, I always want to see him succeed. I always like seeing a good man succeed. The Rule Zero guys, the RAR squad, always. And so anything I can do to help them get there helps all of us, helps you. So, that should be exciting. Scarred Thumbs on Sunday, by the way. We were talking to Dave on Friday. We moved the T-Rex streams to this channel. So if you're like, why is there a Minecraft video on the fucking thing? That's why. I think that's it. Oh, Dogwalker. Pre-sales until 14th of February. So if you want to get the Kindle one, put a pre-sale in, that's fine. You'll get the first edition when it's hot off the presses. Fuck Files is also, and the link's in the description there. I'll put it in the chat too. Fuck Files is the re-release. The 3rd edition's coming out end of the month. So what is that, a week? Yeah, it's almost 2 weeks. Jesus, 2 weeks. January is such a long month, man. Such a long month. All right, so yeah, it's coming out in about a week or two. That'll be fun. I'm actually really excited about. I gotta grab the link, so 1 second here. Amazon needs my one-time use code. What? Oh. There we go. Yeah, there she is. All right, so that one's going there. I think you guys will enjoy that one, and if you enjoyed the previous one, the updates, the cover updates, I think look really snazzy. Looks good. Everything's polished up. The text is polished up too, so the reading experience should be better. Everybody will like it. Now, I think getting all of that out of the way, let's goof around. It's this one.
You want to do the man dance? First dance is yours.
Have you ever wanted to watch a movie where Sarah Silverman gets punched in the face for running her mouth? Do you love a good old-fashioned Western? How about a heist movie? What about a buddy cop flick with gratuitous nudity for no reason other than it's awesome? What about a mob movie? Does the idea of someone getting his arms pulled apart on an oil rig make you wet for more? Do you love the kind of movie where everyone is the bad guy but you root for them anyways? How about a movie about drifters looking for a score? Are they hitmen? Are they assassins? Are they ex-special forces? You don't know, and they never tell you. Do you love a movie that doesn't give you all the answers? Well then, I have the movie for you. In the age of Americana, after the Cold War, but before the War on Terror, America hit its stride.
It's morning again in America.
A hard-boiled gumshoe detective turned director who was so damned good that Tom Cruise kidnapped him to write and direct every one of his movies. Benicio del Toro and Ryan Felipe, the two biggest stars of the 90s, teamed up to turn the concept of a buddy cop movie on its head. These guys are so damned good that even James Caan decided to show up and give gravitas. Everyone is the bad guy, but you root for them anyways. This all-star cast came together and created the most amazing, thought-provoking, and goddamned entertaining gunslinger movie in history. It's edge-of-your-seat, non-stop action, witty banter, and induced pregnancies. The third act, Shootout Alone, is worth the price of admission. You never know what's going to happen, but you're on the edge of your seat to see it when it does. Butch Cassidy meets the Sundance Kid, meets Fight Club. It's the way of the gun. 2000.
I'm pregnant.
Dude, I love that movie. If you haven't gone to Orion, by the way, get down there. It's a great channel. I love the Gonzo movie review / like retrospective spin up one on it. I enjoy the editing. I enjoy the script writing. I think it's a great time. It's enjoyable. People are liking it. It's amazing how quickly it's grown, by the way, too. I'm looking forward to when it hits that 100,000. I think it'll be funny. I've done this channel for like 6 years, made 1,000 videos. That one I'll do like 12 and it'll just fucking explode. Isn't that just the kind of luck? Anyway. Yeah, I'm living in an era where traditional is undergoing transformation and deprived of its historical virtues. No new transplanted surgery, inserted new traits, values are furnished by feminism. Okay, so let's get to the topic now. The TRAD con trap. Normally, I pull this stuff up on the computer, read some excerpts, but we're going to go off of memory. We're doing this one based on vibes. The TRADCon trap is not a new thing. I know everybody's like, oh my God, for the Americans, right? Like, oh my God, the right just won their first election. They won a majority in all of the stuff, which they haven't seen this since Reagan, which I think is true. I don't know. And now all of a sudden it's like, how come all of a sudden all the infighting starts? And it started with, what's that stupid idiot's name? I think it was James Lindsay, but they're like Cernovich. There's a whole bunch of guys. They call them collectively Con Incorporated, like Conservative Incorporated. The play on words is Con Inc., as in Con Air, and con as in conservative, as in con as in getting conned. And they're all doing what they call the bootstrap narrative, which it's people have been around long enough during the 2010s feminism arc where like they know there's some kind of like evil bizarro RAR squad that they're all colluding and talking about this stuff in, because that's how these narratives work. It's always astroturfed. But the gist is, and it's all about immigrants. It's all about immigrants. H-1B visas. I guess just during Christmas, Elon went to go to the Eyes Wide Shut party with Trump, and his social media team of H-1B visa guys started just going all pro Southeast Asia. I'm trying to use euphemisms here. They all went pro international student. Started shitting on people and banning people and stuff like that. Elon gets back, and Trump's like, "Hey, fix this." And then he fired Viva Schwame or whatever, because he was in on it too. He's like, and then the joke there is he shoved him into a locker like a big bully. Turns out Vivek was just like the biggest piece of shit ever. Just ran an MLM scam. Now, how does this have to do with I'm getting to the traditional side. We have to do a preamble. Otherwise, the show only runs 15 minutes. So don't worry. I'll make the adventure good. So he gets bullied. He gets put out. And now there's like this weird... And it's internet arguments. I'd have no idea how much, if any, of an effect it's going to have in the real world. But hey, we're on the internet, so let's just assume it's the biggest thing. Immigrants. And it went from, we need more immigrants because immigration is a good thing, to where people are like, I'm not woke. We don't care about this stuff. This worked when you were left wing, but now not. So now they switched over to the bootstrap argument. You know, a real man isn't afraid to compete with the third world. When I was your age, I bought a $25 car. And every argument just shows how out of touch a lot of people are who like to run their mouth on the internet. And it's the same argument that's happened since time immemorial, 1997. And I still remember this is the greatest thing I'd ever read. It was some men's rights post that somebody on Purple Pill Debate posted. It came from like a 2002 article where the guy said every one of these arguments, and it was like an MRA versus feminist argument, but every one of these arguments boils down to two stances. One side catastrophizes the issue, and the other side pretends that this issue doesn't exist. And that's exactly what happened here. Exactly what happened here. One side is talking about tradition, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, go be homeless, live in your car, carve out your niche, go get Panda Express and get $100,000 a job flipping burgers or whatever Panda Express cooks. They don't have those up here. To which the youngins, the Utes are like, hey, just so you know, you gave those jobs to the H-1B visas too. Up here we call them LMIA, but it's all international students. So they're complaining about that, and the other side is complaining that you're just lazy and entitled. And then what does each one do? Each one goes to the absolute stupidest person making the arguments. So like the Zoomers go and look at Mike Cernovich and Matt Walsh. It's like, look at these fucking idiots. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm always on the side of fuck Matt Walsh and fuck Mike Cernovich. I think they're horrible people for so many reasons. And I find it a little tasteless that Mike Cernovich is arguing for pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, considering he's the biggest alimony baby out of everybody. Just do what I do. Make a movie. Hustle all day. Oh, and then marry a Facebook founder and get an alimony payment after marrying her for 3 years. Then you too can be famous like me. Bootstraps. Matt Walsh, same thing. I don't know. They're talking about the past, and that's what everybody does. And so this is going to get to what I'm talking about with it. And they're what is collectively called TRADCons. And even in the red pill space, like 2012, 2010, even then we knew it. And I'm sure there's some BBS forums in the 90s that said the same thing, where it's just you realize it's not feminism, but it is. It's exactly the same. It just comes at it from a different angle. Like you take anything that somebody who claims to be a traditional conservative and take their arguments, their long-housed arguments about, hey, just suck it up and marry those single... That was the joke back in the day, that you'd go to church. Ian Ironwood wrote this in Manosphere, Hope for a New Men. But, the church. Because who wants absolution? Single moms who made mistakes? And they would tell the congregation, you need to man up and marry those single moms. And then the kids manned up and married the single moms. And then the single moms pulled some stuff, cheated on them, divorced them, whatever. And then what did the church do? It's like, well, you got my back here? No, you got to try harder. You didn't marry up those single moms well enough. And then they're kind of going like, well, what's the point of the church? It sounds like you're just using me for fodder here to keep women in the pews. And so they left the church en masse. And that was generally, as far as I can tell, the first group that kind of went into the red pill and started talking about this. Whisper had some great stuff about the TradCon trap. Famously with the article, Jordan Peterson is not your friend. Absolutely groundbreaking article, mostly because it summarized what everybody had kind of already known. It put it into a single place, and it got a lot of people mad. It turns out there was a huge group of people who really desperately want the traditional conservative ideology to be true, and they will defend it and they will fight for it, but it just chews you up and spits you out. It's female supremacy, but topping from the bottom. And that's kind of where we're at now. And now this new generation of guys in their 20s, they've had 10 years of, I remember Chateau Artiste. I was reading that blog when I was 13, and now they're 26, and they're like, yeah, bro, no, we've been through this before. And so that's this big fight. So I guess for you, from a sexual perspective, positive male, I'd say this is more positive male identity, but, sexual strategy as well. Whenever one of these guys tries to get you to do something, just think about it. Like, put this bucket on your head. What's in it for you? Oh, you'll love it. The bucket is great. Go get a job at Panda Express as a manager. Here's another one. I remember this was like a couple months back, but go to the flyover states. Go find a diner in downtown Boise and marry that girl. As if there's a ton of young, attractive women just laying around in the middle of nowhere, working at a diner, trying to get themselves through community college. And it's so detached, and it's always coming from people like Nepo babies, man. My dad gave me my fortune. Chris Rufo it's a funny, I don't even really know much about these people. I just kind of know them from their Twitter bullshit. So he could be famous for all I know, but I just think what a fucking idiot. So he's sitting here telling everybody about pull yourself up from your bootstraps, the talented people will win, to which everybody brought up he does this work for a place called, I think, the Manhattan Institute. It's like journalism, gonzo journalism, commentary. It's like a Daily Wire upstart type thing, sorta. And they finally started hiring new writers. Who do they end up hiring? Not any of the right-wing guys that they're claiming to be for. They hired some left-wing OnlyFans girl who was like pro-Biden 3 weeks prior because she was sleeping with one of the editors. And then you realize like a lot of this really is sexual strategy. The guys are telling their competition in work and in play, oh, go work at Panda Express. Go get a job bucking hay. Don't you leave the New York high fan dangling finance jobs to me and my unattractive friends. And these chicks we're really into. We're going to offer them an internship. And, you know, fingers crossed, the sneaky fucker wins again. Sneaky fucker strategy wins again, you know? Yeah, manipulators. It's a LARP. And it LARPs is masculine. That's the other thing. Oh, dude, the amount of times that you'll see some guy with like... And it's always like the stupidest signals. Like Matt Walsh is notorious for this. Flannel shirts. You know what's masculine? Flannel. You know why? Because I saw a Bounty paper towel ad. And the guy was wearing flannel when he was chopping down trees. I think that's what's masculine. Oh, guns. Guns are masculine, and they pick like I think they call them like FUD. Is it FUD? Where like they just put all kinds of weird fucking attachments on there to make the thing look like a Call of Duty death machine. But it's funny because a lot of guys, they don't know how optics work and they don't know how any of the parts work, so it's kind of put on in a very weird way. The most famous example I could think of was that CEO of a naval ship firing an MP5 with a scope on it, but the scope was facing backwards. And everybody's like, the fuck? Granted, it's the Navy. All you have to do is hit the horizon and you win. And if you have to have a rifle in the military on the Navy, then something's gone extremely wrong. No, FUD was like old man stuff where they just like the 1911's the only gun you need and just iron sights. But there's another term for it. I don't know. Maybe you guys will know. You're the Americans. I'm not yet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they hire exports. And look, I'm all. Oh, back to the arguments. And keep this in mind too, because I guarantee you, when it comes to arguing with your family, when it comes to arguing with your wife, you probably see a lot of the same dynamics at play. One side dismisses the issue. The other side hyperbolically exaggerates it. Every time. So it's like it's nepotism when it serves them. It's merit when it serves them. It's all just words. It's womanese. The idea of using the words to get what you want, if it's true, it's great, but they don't have to be. It's not required. The whole point isn't to be true. The point is to use them as a rhetorical device to get what you want. Yeah. Oh, funny, watching your antibiotic nuke yesterday and you commented about to get both girls dress gothy. So Matt's trying to pull Marlboro girls. I don't know what anybody's trying. Sorry, that comment kind of throws me off. I haven't made that video in like 6 years and you're like, hey, remember that thing you did 6 years ago for 10 seconds? I'm like, struggling, man. I'm struggling. I'm sure it was good. And I'm sure I was shitting on Matt Walsh, which I should have been. Because he is an idiot. And it's not even just like a normal idiot. He's getting paid to be an idiot. They pay him to say this shit. Throws me off. I mean, it doesn't throw me off. I understand it. And it always makes me wonder. And here's a good thought experiment for you guys. We're rambling. We'll get right back to topic afterwards. If you were required to be a singing, dancing monkey for a person who you absolutely loathe, what's your sellout cost? Like, how much would they have to pay you? For Jordan Peterson, I know it's $8 million a year. $8 million a year, I will absolutely be intellectual Canadian Matt Walsh. Daily Wire hired him. He's like, fuck these frogs. Get me out of here. Yes, Mr. Benny boy with the little hat. Tell me what you want me to say. Sounds good. I will babble incessantly. Sucks for Russell Brand. She's like, dude, that was supposed to be me. It's like, no, it's not you. All right, fair enough. But here, and I don't want to, like, I see one of these random no-name bunch of number guys in the chat here talking about reformed hoes, conniving, playing to Sims fantasies. They didn't invent the manipulation. Guys do. Because it's all sexual strategy. And that's the man up and marry those hoes things. There's nothing wrong with a hoe. A hoe can settle down. A hoe can be as loyal as anybody. Just the same way that a virginal bride can end up being an absolute whore 6 years into the marriage. you're looking at the wrong statistics, the wrong metrics, the wrong safety markers. That's not how it works. And I don't know, I've said it so many times, but it's very hard when there's like me and one or two other voices talking about boundary enforcement and expectations, when everybody else doing the much bigger outrage bait thing is saying, find a girl with 0 notches or you're dead. Find a girl who goes to your church or she's dead. Find a girl who hates White Claw or she's... And they always pick like the stupid... Find a girl who likes strawberry lollipops. That's the one. You know what? Blueberry lollipop girls. And then they sit there and they fight over the different flavors of lollipop, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? Guys who get no poon and the things they say, right? And of course, because human beings rubberneck, a train wreck. Let's slow down and cause traffic behind me because I want to see a body. It's that, but for YouTube, right? So yeah, it's boundaries, and that's it. Doesn't matter. I mean, every girl's gonna have a notch count now, and that's a foregone conclusion, and that's ultimately what why the trad con is a con. They rely on the naivete of the male demographic they're trying to weaponize or monetize or manipulate every time. Oh, you got to find yourself a virgin. No girl's a virgin. Every traditional, was it Nuke? I think it was Nuke. One of the best rhetorical things. It might have been Lufty. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Might have been Notre Dame. Doesn't matter. One of the most best rhetorical devices against like the traditional conservative chicks that are like branding themselves on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and Little Red Book now, or whatever they call it, the new commie app. Hey, were you a virgin when you met your husband? That's all they ask. He just says that and leaves it there. Were you a virgin when you met your husband, right? And then all the girls lose their fucking mind. Well, you're telling everybody else to find themselves a virgin wife, and you're a great wife, were you? It's not the point. Kind of is. So you realize, like, yeah, they're telling you to put this bucket on your head, but they didn't even wear the bucket. Put this bucket on your head. Find these qualities. Get the strawberry lollipop. You're gonna love it. Did you? No. Not for me, but for you. Same thing as the job thing. Oh, go get a job at Panda Express. Work your way up from the mailroom. Shake the guy's hand. Did you do any of that? No. I walked into this job at $120K a year. It's pretty good. All right, so why are you giving me advice on shit you never did because it sounds good? Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Fuck you. Absolutely. Daily Wire with the H1B. Yeah, and it's such... And everybody's trying to analyze it. And I always joke it's stepping on your dick and then analyzing the footprint. I don't know if it really matters what the definition... Like, what is it? Oh, it's some evil lizard people cabal paying for controlled opposition from conservative media. Maybe not. How can you tell? Well, you got to find the evil cabal of fundraisers. All right. and you just find anything. Oh, he got some money from viewers like you, like Sesame Street does. Oh, that's an APAC thing. All right, whatever. Some people are saying, no, he just wants the girls for himself. Like Chris Rufo is telling you to get a job at Panda Express. He's only hiring OnlyFans models. He just wants a harem because he can't get any poon unless he does his pro-Jared method of like cashing his clout for pussy. Maybe not. What was the third example of? I have my notes here, but I'm trying to remember. I didn't write the third example down, but the third example. Yeah, they're out of touch. They haven't lived on the economy. They haven't had to buy groceries. They haven't been at the median average or average income in like 20 years. So they just don't understand. They have an index pension. That one's the one I'm kind of leaning towards because I see a lot of boomers in Canada who are still arguing like it's Jean Chrétien in 1993 economy, and all the villains like, oh, that's Brian Mulrooney's going to ruin the country. Don't vote him in. I'm like, dude, that was 50 years ago. The new guy wasn't even born then. What the fuck is wrong with you? No. Trudeau's going to do it. Do you mean Pierre or Justin? Yeah. Funniest argument today. They're trying to hire some like lizard person central banker to run the country now. You know he sold all of Canada's gold supply, right? What? Canada's got no gold? Yeah, we got no gold. Our central bank got rid of all of our gold. We have a zero gold policy now. How bad is that? I'm sure that'll go well when the economy tanks. So yeah, it's like all this stuff is the same thing. It's just a bunch of people lying and manipulating, trying to appeal to your naivety. And you just have to learn how to weather it with a little bit of humor, and definitely by keeping your head on your shoulders. And that's, again, I love Rob Says, by the way. because Chesty specifically, Rule Zero Dad and him, because they don't need this shit. They don't need the red pill. They don't need I mean, they did for their time and their place, but they don't need it like as a brand. They don't need it for jobs. They could walk away tomorrow, never interact with anybody here again. Wouldn't affect their life. In fact, it would probably free up some spare time for them to go, drink or play with their kids or brew another beer or whatever else is they want to do with their lives. It doesn't even matter. But I love them here. And they've always been good friends that way because, like, if anybody in our squad ever starts acting like a Myron, they're like, bro, are you fucking stupid? Don't do that. It's that level-headed second opinion, and and not everybody will have a Rule Zero Dad. Not everybody will have a Robin. That's fine. You just have to keep your head on your shoulders. And the easiest and the best and most effective way I have seen that is just keep this one statement in your head, one thing in mind, one guiding principle, one anchor to base all of your decisions on. When somebody's babbling to you with their blather about what you need to do and what you need to go for and all of this shit, just think to yourself, what's in it for me? That's it. What's in it for me? You think to yourself, what's in it for me? And it forces you to approach this from a beneficial angle for you. For you. Beneficial, it's good for who? Good for you. None of this good trademark. None of this good, the royal good. No, good for you. What's good for you? Go get a job at Panda Express. You'll love it. You can work yourself up there, and then from there you can get your tech job. Well, what's in it for me? And the best part is that's where, like, guys telling about their experiences managed to work so much. Somebody actually had one of those Panda Express. His was Chick-fil-A. The management track, the $100,000 a year job. He's like, and he explained it in great detail. It was actually really like an amazing note swapping. I wish I tried to boost it. I'm like, dude, this is exactly what people should be doing. And he was just saying, yeah, they had me on the track. It was like 2 years of training and then a year having the interviews with the CEO staff and then going to manage one, doing some investments. He was all for it. And he knew it was going to be buckle down and work. He was working like 80-hour weeks, which is insane. He's like, yeah, I had to open, I had to close, I had to be this. And then as he rose up the ranks, he had more responsibility, but he still had his other duties. And yeah, he was earning $115,000 a year. But if you worked it out to an hourly wage, he was still earning like really shitty hourly wage. I don't know what the numbers were on it, but it was like not that far above minimum wage. He just made up for it in time. And then by the end of it, they just rug pulled him anyway. Yeah, we don't think you're ready yet. Maybe in a year or two. And that's when he realized they're using the stick and the carrot. They're promising him, oh yeah, you'll be able to get into one of those top tier business jobs here. Just work hard. We got you, man. And then he would work hard. He'd work hard. And it's like, yeah, it's not quite there yet. Maybe in another year or two. And they were stringing him along for years. And he's like, yeah, don't fuck it. You're better off being homeless. Don't ever do this. Unless you want to do it. And that's always the thing. Like, yeah, you don't have to tell a guy. He's like, no, I'm fine with that. That's what I'm capable of doing. I'm not smart, but I can work my ass off. And maybe for those guys, they'll like it. But those aren't the people that we're talking to. You're talking to people who are potentially talented. But again, like I told you early on, one side catastrophizes the issue. The other side pretends it doesn't exist. So what do the traditional conservatives do when they're faced with this overwhelming amount of peer pressure and sentiment based on, I did do that, it doesn't work, you're bringing in H-1B visas to run the Panda Express anyway, all this stuff, right? They look through hundreds of well-to-do, educated, hardworking people. Nope. Then there he is, MGTOW 42069, the Redditor from the No Work subreddit. Just says some off the cuff retarded shit. Like, there it is. There's my straw man. And then they'll retweet that guy and like, look, this is why all of you guys are whiny baby losers. This is what you argue against. Why can't you just work hard? All we want, and then they Mott and Bailey you, right? Oh, we just want you to work hard. And like I said, both sides are doing it. The whole catastrophize the issue, pretend it doesn't exist, right? Here's the difference, though. So that's what the Mike Cernoviches, the Matt Walshes, the Chris Rufos are doing. They're finding MGTOW 42069, putting him on blast because he's a very easy straw man to cut down. But for the other side, the side of the young people who just want, and from what I understand, if you take like a very charitable steelman argument, they don't care about a guaranteed wage this, they don't care about a guaranteed wage that. They just want a level playing field. Make the path known. Don't put artificial barriers in the way. Let me rise and fall based on my merits. That's generally what the well-meaning people want. So when they look to the other side to lampoon the worst arguments, the difference is, while Cernovich had to grab MGTOW 42069, everybody on the Zoomer and Millennial side of things gets to pick Matt Walsh, Mike Cernovich. Those are the absolute idiocies. The cheerleaders on their side are the ones you get to point out as being the absolute, like, deluded ones. And I find that hilarious. Every other band, oh, you got to make fun of that guy in his garage band. The garage bands get to make fun of Gene Simmons. How awesome is that? Yeah, cooperative opposition. Now, I don't know all the mechanisms of this, and I think one of the worst things you can do is start ascribing motive and conspiracy to it, because it doesn't really matter. It's fun. Everybody loves unwinding a mystery, sure, but then what? Oh, I found out it's because of them. That group did it through this thing. You got your little whiteboard with the fucking red string on it. But then what? Does your action change? Not really. The actions change. 1, ignore the fuck out of them. 2, make rational economic decisions. 3, petition your governing authorities to redress grievance. What does that mean? Well, like the voting in Trump thing. Huge mandate. Fix the H-1B thing. Kick all the immigrants out. Get rid of this woke crap. Put us on a level playing field. Let me rise and fall by my merits. Stop taking middle class and financing the upper classes from it, kind of stuff, right? And dude, Canada, same thing right now. That's probably our biggest source of frustration. At least Trump is like, I got you, fam. Our guy, Pierre, he's like, the way people put it is, if you are being charitable towards him, you say, yeah, well, he has to win over a lot of immigrants, because like 59% of Toronto right now is all first generation immigrants, which is insane. 44% of the country is first generation immigrants, and they're underage children right now. So like, he can't just come out and say we're going to kick out all the immigrants, because he'll just lose. And he's hiding his power level for when he gets in office. That's the charitable one. But at the same time, the more cynical or realistic ones are like, yeah, he's just going to try and have it both ways. Like, no, it'll be fine. He'll do some kind of Reagan amnesty thing and everything will work out in the end. Having said that, doesn't really make Canada. We're so borked. He even said like and you see, like, even for him, even for that milquetoast level of male positive identity in the governance sphere, guys are pro CPC, girls are neutral. And that's amongst like 20-year-olds. And then as you get older, same trend. Women like them less. Guys are good until guys hit the boomer generation, like 60 and above. Then all of a sudden they all hate them. They're just cucked. It's just... So as much as... So then, night of the pillows can't come fast enough. So yeah, sexual strategy-wise, you just got to realize, like, older men are not your friends. They are not mentors. Oh, I'll help you get to where I am today. I love the next generation. No, they actively want you out of the way. Your competition. They're competing against you. They're throwing you out of positions. Women, a lot of the times, are, they're competing against you. They're throwing you out of positions. Nobody's really on your side, which is fine. Just lets you know. At least you know. Nobody's really out. Nobody's out to help you. Nobody's going to save you. There's no guy out there who's going to offer the perfect solution to your problems. And you kind of have to... And that's kind of a two-pronged approach for you, where understand the problems, articulate the problems, discuss, argue the problems, so that way because the one thing I do like about these political arguments is, at the very least, if you're handling them sincerely, you're able to articulate your problem, what your issue is, and what you're trying to achieve. I think that's the benefit of it. Not so much that you're changing hearts and minds. You're never going to change minds. People just argue for sport. They don't give a shit. But at least you understand it better. And then when you understand it better, it allows you to navigate it better. It's the same process that you use for field reports, trying to OODA loop your life. Tried this because I want to have more sex in my relationship. Ended up having more sex in the relationship. This is what I did. This is why it works. Awesome. Great. Or vice versa. Didn't work. Wife's getting bitchy. Can't figure out why not. Read a field report. Talk to the guys. Hey, what the fuck, man? Oh, I did that too. That's just, your wife is, like, she's really stubborn, so it's going to take a while, and eventually she's going to have a main event. And you're like, oh, okay. Same thing. Same thing. It all is the same thing. Now, if you're going to ask me, what should I do for my life? It's like, what the fuck do I know? Where do you live? What do you earn? What are your expectations? What are your talents? How good are you? Can you talk your way out of a wet paper bag? Are you smooth? Are you autistic? I don't fucking know. There's so many variables that even if I wanted to, I would never be able to give you a great life script. Oh, just do this, then this, then this. And you wouldn't want that anyway. I have no vested interest in your success or failure. I take no responsibility if you fuck it up. Are you crazy? Why would you want me giving? The best advice I would give you is be like me. It worked for me. And that's what most of these idiots are doing, but they don't want to admit to themselves that they're Nepo babies, so they have to make up a fake Panda Express lore. No. This is the real me, not that other me, the one that actually happened. Yeah, good advice falls on deaf ears. People learn the hard way. Can you blame them, though? Every piece of advice is so shitty that somebody could give you good ones. It's like right now. There could be the greatest movie right now with a black lesbian protagonist. I'm not going to watch it because I'll wait. You let me know because I don't believe you. I don't believe you've written this well. I don't believe you've cast it well. I don't believe it's going well. I don't believe I'm going to enjoy myself. And yeah, you might make the greatest, most enjoyable DEI cast of characters. I just don't believe you. So that's another reason why. Like, why give advice? Everybody else has poisoned that well. Like, whatever. Why even bother? What the hell are you talking about? Swarley? Who are these people? People want a shortcut to any excess? I don't think they do, though. I don't think people, like some people, obviously there's somebody who wants a shortcut, but I'm not going to catastrophize the issue and pretend it doesn't exist. I don't think most people want a shortcut to success. I think most people just want a level of, like, they just don't want to be fucked with. Don't fuck with me. Stop putting shit in my way. It's anger phase stuff, you know? Like anger, the social emotion, it requires a pain and a grievance. Without grievance, you just get pain. Grievance without pain isn't a grievance. You have to have grievance and you have to have pain, and that's how you make anger. And that's the problem now. It's not the pain. Yeah, the economy's in the shitter, inflation is bad, housing is brutal. People can live with misery, but what they can't live is misery with a grievance attached to it. There's this misery and you're causing it. And you can easily make the case that people are causing, like those, like I'm pulling my inner Clary right now. Those goddamn Democrats inflated the currency. Now everything is 20% more expensive. At least in Canada, that's true. The Liberals absolutely printed, like, went $1 trillion in debt, printed off $680 billion, and then everything across the board went up like 25%. Food, energy, housing even went more than that. They flooded the place with 5 million immigrants and built 80,000 houses to house them. Like, yeah, everything got borked. But it was like a conscious decision. They actually did it. So that's why people are angry. It's not because things are hard. Hard times are fuck, whatever. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I'd be all for it. It's that attached to the grievance. You're doing this to me. You're continuing to do this to me. I want you to stop. And that's kind of what that's what, if you really want to be sincere about it, that's what you're asking. But then my inner Rule Zero dad is like, they're not going to stop. They don't care. You're in the fucking way. Shut up. Figure it out. Which, that's all you really can do right now. And then that's a different track you can go on. It's not even so much pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's just like, fuck you, get yours. Fuck you, pay me. You know? And it's positive male identity. It's not positive, but it's like, it's a better male identity. And I hate to say it, but like, yeah, the best male quality in 2024 is a jaded cynicism. The 80s aren't coming back with like the hopeful boomer optimism. No, it's jaded cynicism. Fuck you, pay in advance. No paying for things in clout. No offering a collab in exchange for all this work. No, hey, next year, if you play your cards right, none of that dangling the string. No carrot, no stick. No, fuck you, pay me. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing a generation of more ruthless, mercenary guys out there. I think it will pay dividends. I think it'll pay huge dividends in their dating lives, in their work lives. Because an angry guy who's got nothing to lose, who do you think is going to create a new industry? Who do you think is the one who's going to start something that actually works? Who do you think is going to take big risks? A young guy who feels fucking distraught by the system. Now, it goes both ways. You're gonna get a Luigi or two. Not gonna lie, you got to be ready for that. There's a bell curve, and there's a success side, and there's a CEO murdering side. I don't want to sugarcoat it, and it's not good. And some people are probably gonna have things that they don't really want to happen, and some guys are gonna fail, absolutely. But it's the world you live in. You can't change it, so you have to. But like the worst thing is the guys that are helping step on your neck and telling you they're doing it for your sake. I fucking hate that. That's ultimately, it's not even so much the fuck trophies for clout. It's not Cernovich sleeping around with shroons in Thailand and writing about how great it is. It's not about being Nepo babies with your billionaire father hooking you up in the Manhattan Institute job. It's not about any of that stuff. Ultimately, all of these guys are the same thing. Thirsty, sexless nerds that finally carved a little bit of excess, and they're so worried about losing it. They're so worried about losing their access to women that they will gladly sell all of you into slavery. And it's like, fuck you guys. Nerds really, bullying needs to come back. Bullying needs to come back. And all the flannel in the world's not going to fix that either. Fuck that. All right, Crumb. Oh, hey, Crumb. Like the god, right? Once you realize it's not the world is out to get you, but everyone is out for themselves, things start to make sense. Yeah. With various levels of collusion. I think just saying the world's out to get you is just because you're not able to articulate that there's multiple interests at play. It's a sophistication thing. Yeah, give me 50% of the carrot now or get fucked. Oh, go stripper. Put that so goddamn well. So goddamn well. All right, let's make fun of some retards. I haven't done that in forever. Hey, speak of the devil.
I don't usually post pictures of my kids online, but they're infants and you can barely see them, so, you know, it's fine. But a YouTuber named Ryan Stone tweeted, showing off the F trophies for clout. So the babies are trophies that I'm showing off. It's perhaps not a surprise that a picture of a proud father would be so upsetting to the sort of man who clearly never had one.
I feel so validated in that I was early onto the fuck Matt Walsh train. I feel like I'm just like, hey, senior class of 87 and the 1990 kids are coming in. I'm like, welcome. Come with me, sir. Let me teach you some things. All right, I'm going to go get a refill on my coffee, so we're going to watch a poop video.
Yes, there are Indian families that dig holes and put tents and poop. They do it on the beach now, and they did it off my backyard.
Oh, hoo boy!
There was like 3 different families of maybe 25, 30 people that came for barbecues. They would set up right on the fence of my backyard. I seen them digging the hole, and I seen them put the tent. When they left, there was poop. That happened 3 separate times. I've had to yell at people for shitting on the borderline property line of my backyard. And yes, it was Indian families. So that's not false. You can check my town's page where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach, because there is. They're digging holes and they're pooping and putting tents up because they don't want to go to the washrooms. So I'm tired of people saying that the people pooping on the beach, like that's what they do back home. We are not back home. We are in Canada. As a local, I refuse to let my kids dig in the sand on beach 1. And you guys are saying all the tents are gone? No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. The beach is full of tents. Full.
Do you want to know why? Why my food is burnt? Because I had a police officer come to my door and harass. Somebody called in and said, she's harassing East Indian people. No, I'm not.
You see that Waffle House there? There's murderers in there. It's funny, dude. I don't know what it is, but like now that the book is finished, I don't remember. Like I'm reading it and I'll read it for like the first time. Some of the lines in here though, man, dude, I'm gonna do a little quick excerpt from chapter 4 for you. Dog Walker, available 14th February, Amazon, links in the description, click it now. So it starts off, who's that trailer park bitch he brought home last night? Mike asked. Oh, that was Matt's wife. Oh, Sarah? Right on, man. I hate that guy. I'd have done her too. Like, how could you not? That's just I don't know. I enjoy that line. And the best part is, I keep telling guys this. So when you read the book, when you read parts that sound like, well, that makes no fucking sense. Why would that happen? That's part auto-fiction. That's part I've taken from like actual stories in my real life and put it in there. But then when you read a part, it makes sense. The flow is good. The pacing's good. The character arc makes sense. That's all like invented. So it's got a mix. And I've noticed a lot of authors did that, where they take the parts that, like parts of anecdotes from their life, and they pepper them in, and then they make up stories. It's like a mishmash of all of it. Which is I think it's partially how authors get their voice. And then, dude, Nick, I gotta give more shout outs to Nick. I don't praise him nearly enough. Not because, like, I like him, but because he's just goddamn good at what he does. Oh, he's good at what he does. When it comes to, like, writing and reading and understanding stuff, like, fucking really good at it. Case in point. So we've been talking about the new book, the cyberpunk one, the New Kowloon, Down on Your Luck in New Kowloon, and he suggested to me a book from Hemingway. God damn it, I forgot the title of it already. I've read it twice. Can't remember the fucking title. It's alright, it's in my library. Oh, it's on the wrong account. It's something about hunting. I'll probably know it once I see it. Yeah, so the book I got was from the Complete Short Stories of Ernest Hemingway. You guys, anybody here who's a reader will probably know. Ah, there it is. The Short Happy Life of Francis Macomber. Oh, it's fucking good. It's this guy, this American and his wife who go on a safari in Africa, and the hunter helps them out. It's just good. Oh, 1 second. Donka. How much caffeine do you drink? You have no idea how much caffeine I drink, and I sleep like a baby. The Navy has absolutely burned out whatever gland is in my body that accepts caffeine. Yeah, Hemingway on hunting? It's not about hunting, though. It's about a cuck. It's about a cucked, beat-up ass husband kind of carving out his manhood and getting liked. And I'm not going to spoil the ending. It's really good. It's worth a read. It's worth a read. But, like, some of the lines on there, man, I'm like, holy shit. It was written in, like, the 30s or something like that, but you could see this in, like, a Manosphere thing today. At one point, the wife is harping on him. And he's like, hey, could you turn the, was it the bitchiness? I want to get the line right because it was just so goddamn good. Turn the bitchiness down a touch or something like that. I'm not going to be able to find it, but that's fine. What I should have done is just let notes. All right, anyways, it was... Oh, there. Why not let up on the bitchery just a little, Margaret? I don't know, it just makes me laugh every time I see that one. Shut up. In the 1930s, they just put a great way, and they talks about how it's an American woman, and she's like, she's having like a real moment where she's acting like a normal girl, and then she enamels herself with that bitchy attitude that American women are known for, and I was just like, oh, this is really fun. It's just so funny to see like all of this newfound misogyny that everybody's like, this new misogyny is just brutal. And then you go back and read anything prior to like 1973, and you're like, holy shit, I look like a fucking feminist compared to this. And it's Hemingway too, so you can't say, oh, it's just some obscure pulp stuff. No, pretty sure Hemingway is goddamn mainstream when it comes to stuff. Yeah, and the gist is the guy is very timid and scared and afraid, and there's kind of like a relationship with his wife, and she ends up sleeping with the hunter and stuff like that. And it's about the idea of the hunting kind of getting him to stop being so afraid of life and finally find his own. And then the ending, it's just, oh, it's a fucking good one. We didn't have that. Canada didn't have Hemingway in high school. Do you know what we read in high school? We read Farley Mowat, which, what's the hell's the name of the book? I'm trying to remember what books he's done. List of books by Farley Mowat. I know exactly the one, too. Where's the one? It's like some Mowgli in the jungle thing. Jeez, he did a lot of books. Good for him. If I'm not mistaken, though, he is Canadian. So I think that's why. When it comes to us trying to do culture, everything is Emily Carr and Farley Mowat. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, we're going to shit on TradCons in a minute. I just want to finish this thought before I forget what the fuck I'm doing. No, it's not that one. Jesus, I read that book Like 18 times in high school. You'd think I'd remember it. Two Against the North, Regiment. No. Discovery of America. Oh, maybe he is American. Or he's writing about America. The Boat Who Wouldn't Float. It's crazy when I look at this. Like a really great author, and he has like 30 books. I'm like 5 in here bragging about, oh, I made it to 5. I'm the fucking man. Just really lets you know how far our standards have fallen. All right. And then whoever did Wind in the Willows, him too. Ryan could take over the whole RP space, but it ain't worth the stink. Well, if I were to take it over, that'd be... Oh, wait, never mind. That's not real Santiago, is it? Jesus Christ. Yeah, of course it's not. I'm really annoyed by the way that YouTube doesn't let you actually, like, moderate a chat window at all. It's just fucking annoying. Governor, how do you dance without caffeine? Old Man in the Sea as a reading. The Pearl was also good. Hemingway, the gay communist. I don't know if he's a gay communist. I just know the books are pretty. The little bit that I've read. I'm actually not a prolific reader. I'm trying to be. My joke is when it comes to like fiction, I've written more books than I've read. When it comes to nonfiction, assuming you take out military textbooks, probably running about even right now. And this whole time I thought it was because I was OCD or I wasn't taught how to read books right. It's just the stigmatism in my eyes. Hurts my head too much to read for too long, so I just didn't do it. And then I got reading glasses like, holy shit, I could have been reading in my 20s. How awesome is that? Last time I read a series was like the Hardy Boys. I loved the Hardy Boys back in the day. Oh yeah, we're going back to shitting on TradCons. Yeah, because just... And it's a known thing. Known about it for so long. Like there's at least a third of the red-pilled posts back in the 2010s were based on, like, stop listening to TradCons. Because America actually has a fairly large religious demographic to it. The evangelicals, the fundamentalists, the different denominations of Protestant, the Orthodoxes, Ortho Bros, they call themselves, and I think the Catholics. Catholics especially. Catholics were, like, a surprisingly large demographic. You know, and it's not just they're the ones that are religious, they believe in God and that. It's they actually like they go to church. It's like active parts of life. And so for them, this problem, which is largely going away, and it's more of like a secular feminist problem that a lot of like Europeans and Canadians and that are dealing with, they still have the traditional conservative one. So that's why for a lot of groups they think, oh, these guys just make fun of this. It's two different demographics of guys that don't see the other demographic, like they just don't exist. Yeah, they need a blowjob, not a wife. And it's just one of those things where, yeah, you can say, I want the tradition this, I want the tradition that, but just realize that that traditional aspiration is being weaponized in the same way that the Marlboro Man was weaponized into selling you cigarettes. You know what you need? Freedom. You know what freedom means? Chasing cows. You know what else means freedom? Lung cancer. You're like, holy fuck, I need lung cancer. Girls, hey, don't let a man tell you what to do. Buy thin cigarettes. They're pink. And they cost $5 more. And girls are like, dude, give me the cancer stick. It's fucking great. And that's what you're doing now. You're offered the cancer stick. Except for the cancer stick is a 200-pound fucking mother of two who's very, very bitchy, and you got to do your duty, right? Yeah. Oh, and look, there's like 500 different ways you can address. Oh, it's because they put the women in charge of schools, and it's because of this. And it's because all of the reasons are right, and none of them are right. It's just, it's like no, well, you know that, what's the saying goes? No raindrop is responsible for the flood. It's kind of what you got here. No individual woman is responsible for the long housing of North America. But here we are. Here we are. Yeah, to Daniel, you're letting people know your age. If she smokes, she pokes. That was what adults in the 80s used to love saying, and it was totally true. Because in the 90s, there were still some smokers. One second here. Yeah, I just could never find books I actually wanted to read until I was an adult and could find books for myself. The crap parents and teachers pushed on you was awful. Yeah, that's what I realized this whole time. Guys could be into all kinds of things, and it's like this is all kind of a theme. Make things that are geared towards male sensibilities, and men will read them. Make a book that men want to read, men will read. Make a movie men would want to watch, men will watch it. Yeah, but those are shit. No, they're not, because men don't. There's a lot of movies that are geared towards men that just suck, and nobody watches them. Make something good, make it geared towards men, men will watch it. Does that mean you put a white guy in charge? No, they don't care. The Long Kiss Goodnight has an assassin, 40-year-old soccer mom as the head, with Samuel L. Jackson as her like sidekick. Fucking guys love that shit. It's a great goddamn movie. Absolutely great. Not a single, every bad guy in there is a white dude. So it's like, yeah, they don't care about that. It's a good story though, and it's geared towards men. Like, dude, there's a scene at the end where Samuel L. Jackson's gonna get tortured, and Buddy's got a knife, and he throws it at his chair, almost hits his nuts, and he freaks out, and then just as he's about to pick up the knife and stab him, at the bottom of the building explodes. Explosion goes through the floor, knocks Sammy out of the window, out the thing, through like a motel sign, bam, lands in the snow, bangs into a tree. Some guy's chasing him with an MP5. He picks up the knife, throws it at the guy's neck, gets up, just runs away. It's like the funniest series of events I think I've seen in cinema in 30 years. It's just hilarious. Could you imagine flying 30 feet out of a window, hitting a tree, landing in the snow, guys chasing you with a gun, ready to shoot you down, and you just happen to be like, have enough of your shit together to pick up a switchblade and whip it at his neck. It's like fucking awesome. Yeah. But the trads don't get that. They just want you to do what they want you to do. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the whole bitchy feminist argument. Neither side is mad that there's the boot on your neck. They're just mad it's not their boot. That's what it always is. So maybe you just don't need a boot. No do to boot it. Maybe I don't want to be a traditional conservative. Why is that? Because traditional conservatives still want a boot on my neck, but they're just telling me it's for my own good, as opposed to I'm a evil man and doesn't deserve it. It's like, fuck off. Benevolent boot is still a boot. Yeah, I refuse to teach it, refuse to learn it. And don't get me wrong, for me, my recommendation list is very short. I got Dune, Delicious Tacos, Devin Erickson, and Ernest Hemingway's short story. It's not a big list. I'll get there. I'll get more for you eventually when I get it. I'm just now finally getting to Vince from Masculine Geek, getting to his work there, which is, what did he call it? It's on my list too. Tesla and something. Hold on a sec. Oh, is he doing his thing again where he looks something up on Kindle? Shut up! I don't go to your work and slap the dicks out of your mouth. Don't slap the dicks out of mine. There it is. Tesla and Malone, Lightning's Call. So he wrote that in 2015, and they just came out with a new one. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. Rising Tide. I forgot, I almost got this one. It's actually, I think it's a collaborative one. Hold on a second here. I'm going to pull this up because it's just a goddamn cool. Where'd they put it? The fucking RAR Squad Alpha. It's a picture of Andrew Tate and then a picture of a lollipop with hair on it. How do you not love this shit? How do you not love these guys? Fuck, we do a lot of shit posting because I can't fucking find it already. Oh wait, no, if it's Vince, he'll have it in here too. There it is. The MG Masculine Geek Pulp Anthology Book 1. They just coming out. I'll grab a link to it because I don't think I have a link in there yet. So I'm going to put one in here for you guys. So far, they just have it in paperback. So no Kindle, no nothing. Here she is. I don't know anything about it yet. I just know the guys. I like the guys. I'm assuming the book is going to be good. So yeah, they got Vincent. They got TJ Martinell, which you guys, he's been around the block as well. You'll like him. And I think, yeah, Noble Brown. I follow him a lot on Twitter too. We always have fun times. He's the one that looks like Wolverine. So all three of them have written it. I don't know if it's 3 different books packed into one, or 3 guys who worked on a single book. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm curious. Oh, and another one. Hold up a sec. I gotta go grab this one too because it's... Isaac, you know, if I had a Jamie, this would go so much faster. Jamie, pull that up for me, would you? Isaac Young, that's the guy. So Isaac Young also wrote this one. It's called The Domes of Calrathia. And it looks to be... So I'm about halfway through it now, and it's about a guy who got... It's a medieval one, you know, that kind of thing. Guy has banned from his order, but in order to get his job back, he has to take a MacGuffin to a space. So it's one of those journey kind of things, the adventure along the way. So that's interesting too if you're into kind of that. The problem is I don't have enough knowledge to say, well, if you loved this one, you'll love this. It seems to be in the same vein as like J.R. Martin, but not like the weird feminist nihilism stuff. So if you're into that one, that might be good too. I like seeing it because it's like newer authors. It's like me. He doesn't have a lot of fiction books, but he's making his bones. At the very least, you get a sample and you see. I think that's kind of like the sample option is probably one of the best things from Amazon. Read a chapter. If you enjoy it, you'll read more. The Benevolent Boot, great novel title. Hey, you know what? Benevolent Boot might be New Kowloon. Down on your luck in New Kowloon. Never heard of this channel. Your dad sent me here. My dad died when I was 17, dude. My dad ain't send you shit. Now, yeah, and I don't think it's going to be helpful for me to say I like them or I don't like them. So for that, I'm trying to keep my opinion like that way out of the discussion, because I'm finding this as I'm reading other people's books that I like, I'm judging them based on how I want to write, which I don't think is a helpful metric. Because, well, one, there's always the chance that what I write is absolute shit and nobody likes it. Always possible. Then there's the other thing where writers have to have a voice. And if I don't like the voice, but the voice is very likable for other people, then my opinion is basically no different than Mike Cernovich telling you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work a Panda Express. So again, it's not helpful. And then I could always talk about the technical aspects of it, but the whole reason I have Nick as an author is because I suck at that too. Dude, he just put me on blast. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because he's like, bro, you got to get your tenses straight. Like, that's the one thing I'm horrible at, where I'll switch between past and present tense. It's like, just stick to one. I know this time I did the short story. It's like 10,000 words, put it together. I looked through it again. I fixed all the tenses. I sent it to him. Now, can you do me a favor, get some structure edits and line edits? He looks, he's like, dude, you got to fix this. I'm like, I did. He goes, you did not. And I read it again. I'm like, holy fuck, he's right. So yeah, I can't be given like, oh, technically it's good, but he missed out on this and this. It's like, that would be shitty too. For me, it's just, so really the only thing I can do is talk about the genre, mention the parts that I enjoy and why, and excerpts about it. And then you guys can decide for yourself if you like it or not. And for me, I want to see all these guys succeed. I would love to see Vince and Isaac and Delicious Tacos. I would love to see all of those guys get into like the regular spot, top 100 on Kindle. Because a rising tide lifts all boats, man. If they do better, the rest of us do better. And I think that's great. And as much as I love those conversations guys have, we have to build each other up. We have to do... Now, fuck that. You know what we have to do? We have to have real talent. The real talent will make real talent. It's like it's a feedback loop. If Nick August writes the greatest fucking Hemingway novel since Hemingway, people are going to read that, go, this is the greatest novel ever. And then they're going to see his and they go, oh, he edits for this guy. Maybe I'll try this guy. And he'll read my stuff. And he goes, this is like the second greatest Hemingway novel since Nick August. And then they'll see mine and like, oh, this August guy. I've always wondered what medieval fiction is like nowadays. And they read his and they're like, I like more pulpy stuff. I'm going to go read Vince's stuff. Or I like the idea of a non-fiction treaty on positive masculinity. Let's go for Rollo. Or, you know, and they're like, I've read some non-fiction stuff from Rollo. I'd love to see like a fictional take on this stuff. And then they go there. Rising tide lifts all boats. But you're not going to get there by like promoting Myron's book, Why Women Deserve Less, or and no offense to him, Turd Flinging Monkeys like picture book, like Dr. Seuss of why women ain't shit and sex dolls are the future, or whatever he's calling it. Because just by promoting crap for the sake of community, that's what chicks do. It's not gonna work. No, it's just like ruthlessly attack each other to be better, and like encourage the ones that are good to be best. And it's gonna be in a bunch of different things. Yeah, well, oh, William Gibson. Wait, is he William Gibson? Is he Canadian? I didn't know that. I'm actually reading Neuromancer right now. Because I feel bad. I'm a huge Cyberpunk fan. Never read William Gibson in my life. Which is kind of like, I love Jesus. What's the Bible? Yeah. Having said that, so far not a fan. Not because I don't like Cyberpunk, but I just don't like how he wrote Cyberpunk. I find, and it's something I think is actually a mistake on my part, when he jazzes up the lingo to the point that I'm having a hard time following along with it. I think he could ease up on that. And this is something I'm finding on books that matters for me. I don't know if it's going to matter for you guys. I call it information density, but I'm sure there's a real term for it. There's no way I invented this fucking thing. What I mean by that is, like, you read a page of a book. It's about 250 words. In that 250 words, if you had to describe what happens in the story, and if you can't, or there's very little, then it has very low information density. As opposed to, well, this happened, this happened, this happened. This guy, he did this, he discovered this. Anything action wordish, it'll be better. Like, I can't think of any examples right now that I want to mention, but, you know, where it's describing the scene. The character looks like this. They thought about this. Their motivations are this. The pictures look like this, and the background is this, and this, and this. You get through like 3-4 pages of text of everybody's intentions, everybody's motivations, like every detail, the intricacy, the world around the building, all that stuff. But then what actually happened? He looked up, was about to talk. 5 pages to get that. He looked up, went to talk. It's like, dude. It's another reason I like Hemingway, because he'll mention the landscape, but it's like 1 paragraph in. Landscape stuff's done, feeds the action. Now, granted, I'm kind of leaning into more screenplay thing here, where I want so little of world building around it, like just the bare minimum that's needed to push the story forward. Now, that's a choice. I don't know if it's the greatest choice. I guess some people like flowery, some people like less, but yeah, does the author? No, I don't know if this is betraying my lack of technical skill in reading and writing. But yeah, does he write like a man talks? I don't know if that's what I mean. Because writing like a man talks, I think what that means is when you start using your commas and your semicolons and start expanding on the sentences for stuff that gets the guy to think what he's supposed to think, not so much hear as if you're trying to talk to him. But I could be wrong. If you'd be interested in manga, The Ghost in the Shell is good. I mean, I want to be interested in manga because I love anime, but I have to say, if I end up going like full manga on that route, I'm gonna start with Akira. There's no fucking way around it. There's no way I don't. I loved Akira as a movie, but then finding out that the anime manga or the anime of Akira is like the equivalent of the 1984 Dune movie to the book Dune, fucking blows my mind. Blows my fucking mind. Ryan talks the way I sing. Isn't it, though? Isn't it? All right, let's take a quick pause here.
Hey, brother, who do you think is the funniest member of Rule Zero Squad? Now? What's your favorite comment joke of theirs? I think Ryan brings good laughs. He does. Ryan is like British humor. It's like Monty Python. And people are like, if you get it, you laugh your ass off. If you don't get it, you're like...
Spot Ryan Stone.
People just don't get his humor. Who's the funniest one on there? You mean besides John Fitch? I think John Fitch is the funniest member of Rule Zero, but he's unintentionally funny. One of the robot dogs.
Seeing this robot dog in real life was pretty surreal and terrifying.
And Cappy's pretty funny. He can be pretty funny too. Who's the funniest member?
I always love there's occasional person, like an occasional millennial's like, is that Mr. Oizo? Yeah, at the end. Dun, dun. 4 notes, 2 tones. Everybody's like, that's Mr. Oizo's flat beat, isn't it? That song was a banger. One of the better music videos around. Yeah. Well, yeah, the Token fans in shambles. I think that's the problem, is that Token was too goddamn good, too popular. Like, he made his epic fantasy, and for the next however many years, 70, 80 years, however many years, he has, people have used him as a template when I don't think they should have. Tolkien was able to write Tolkien. I don't think everybody else has tried to make their own shitty version of Tolkien. And that's kind of how you end up with like George R. Martin, where he does like the deconstruction of Tolkien. What about Tolkien, except for all the hobbits are child diddlers? And you're like, I never really asked for this, but it made some good TV for a couple seasons, at least until like all the women started becoming master assassins, but whatever. Whatever. So yeah, the trad, and that's what drives me nuts about the TradCon thing. So like they could, if they were talented, and a lot of them aren't talented people. Let's face it. Like Matt Walsh, put aside my dislike for everything about him, even his fucking flannel shirts, his stupid beard, his smug look, his dour demeanor, his stupid self-effacate, like none of that, all that stuff. Put all that stuff aside. Assume it's just Matt Walsh, objectively analyzed. Do you see talent? I don't see talent. Is he entertaining? Is he charming? Not so much. Is he aesthetically pleasing? Does he look like the kind of man? It's like, dude, I would love to look like. No, none of that. Does he have the warm, folksy charm of like a Mr. Rogers? No, he doesn't have that either. So what does he have? He's on a platform that shows a bunch of people and tells them what they want to say. He's really good at, he's the Ron Burgundy of Conservative Incorporated. Anything you put on the teleprompter, he will read it. He looks like your dour dad. I don't know who that's meant to appeal to, but it does. But I don't think it's meant to appeal to anybody. I think it's kind of, people like it because it's there, and they grow attached to it from just like sheer brute force. I've watched him because he's the only thing on. It's like how Andrew Tate got popular. He's not, I mean, yeah, he's at least bombastic. He's got a level of charm to him, you know. He's attractive enough that 13-year-old boys want to sleep with him, which is, you know, whatever, weird. But I'm not here to judge, only to uphold the law. But the reason he got popular was not because of his charm or his expertise or all that. It's because he got everybody in his marketing scheme, his MLM, to broadcast him on every social media platform. It was just like sheer brute force that made him a popular public figure. And I would argue like a lot of these guys are the same way. And I think they know that, which is why they're terrified of the rising tide lifts all boats attitude that guys like me or guys like you or guys like Isaac or Vince have. Because if you let talented people rise and fall on their merits, people without talent who've got in through nepotism or just strict debasement, oh, dude, I'll tell you, I'll whore for you. I'll whore for you flat out. Who do you think gets edged out in that scenario? I think it's honestly a self-protection thing that they're doing there. I really do. And that's kind of where, as a guy, you have to realize that's where like the depth of statements like nobody's coming to save you come from. It's not because it's not some edgy thing. It's like, yeah, you're one man is an island. Get out there and hunt bison. No, it's nobody's here to save you, because right now the people that are popular have gotten there through non-talented means. At least not the talent for what the, like, if you're going to be a commentator, if you're going to sit here and blab into a camera with a 1984, stare at the screen, talk about how the fucking lizard people are coming, you got to be fucking entertaining about that. Russell Brand, at the very least, entertaining, stringing a word together. Matt Walsh, absolutely not. So when Matt Walsh is like, talent, oh, we can't have that. That's getting in the way of the grift. So yeah, they're not in your way. They don't want talent. They want status quo. I want things to not change. You even see it, and I actually am kind of having like a soft spot for American conservatives, which I don't know if you put me on a spectrum. I don't know where I'd fall on that. Probably, I don't know, maybe some parts yes, some parts no, whatever. I'm Canadian, so, you know, cut me some slack. But to watch that, essentially, if I understand this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, the Democrats went fucking nuts. They inflated the currency. They put troons in the bathrooms, women in everything, and like a lot of the people in tech loved all of it until like the troon bathroom thing, and then the shutting down tech. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. 98% of this Democratic platform is great. I love it. Everything. Perfect. It's wonderful. Doesn't affect me. Keeps Facebook going. I'm happy. It's 2% though. Not a fan of it. And so they became conservative. They voted for Trump. And now they're like, guys, why are you so mad about 98% of the stuff that you've absolutely hated and has absolutely ground you into the ground? And I think that's where you're seeing a lot of this stuff where it's like, it's not a conservative mandate so much as it is a group that feels slightly betrayed on like single issues are trying to leverage that group to get what they want. Womanese. Say what you have to say. That's why you had the big H-1B visa debate over Christmas. Everybody just yelling at migrant slave labor. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, I'm one of you guys. I'm on Trump's cabinet. And Trump looks at that. He's like, get the fuck out of my cabinet. I don't know why people were like so brazen in December knowing that Trump was taking over. It's like, do you not remember? He had a whole TV show that his whole job was just firing people. His first thing, he fired people like it was sport. Guy gave him his McMuffin the wrong way. He's like, get the fuck out of the White House. And you're sitting here going, no, man, he nominated me. I'm good to go. It's like, no, man, you are not in a secure position. You better fucking deliver. So poor Vivek Ramaswamy now has to run for governor of Ohio or something like that, which, fuck, whatever. True Informers, I like that. You're not good enough yet to join us, Couch, on the American conservative side. I mean, I have no illusions. I don't want to consider myself like a side. I'm just checked out. I enjoy it from a spectacle perspective. I like seeing complex human social relations play out and analyzing them and trying to come to conclusions and then apply that in my own life. So in that sense, I absolutely love how American conservative is doing its thing right now. But as far as me wanting to get on as an ideal, it's like, you don't want me anyway. You wouldn't want it. Because it's just a matter of time until you find some method of disagreement and then everybody's at each other's throats. So I'm just like, I'm not quite at Rob Says level of fuck it. I'm not quite at Nick's level of fuck it and roll. But I'm like, I've got the jaded, I've got the cynicism. I'm just missing that detachment. So yeah. Having said that right now, even though it's like really strong, the enemy of my enemy is my friend vibes, because Trudeau fucking hates him. And I fucking hate Trudeau. So Trump train all the way, boy. Yeah, but those tariffs will destroy Canada. I'm like, good. I think everybody else who's cheerleading him and his lizard guy mentor right now, I think they need some pain. We're already hurting. What's a little more? Oh, the economy's in the shitter. What? Oh, you can only kill me once. So I like it. Plus, the part I love the best, like I understand, it's all cyclic, right? Rule Zero Dad is talking about this. Absolutely right. He goes, oh, we're at Carter. We just finished the Carter administration, didn't we? And Reagan's coming in. And I look, and I'm like, fuck, he's right. Economic inflation, bad situation, ineffective, senile president, hostages in Iran. The only thing it was missing was Reverend What's-His-Face to go free them hostages in Iran. And then I look at Canada. Trudeau Sr. was the same thing. Trudeau Sr., his last 5 years was just punishing the people for not loving him. Massive inflation, stuff like this. The Brits making fun of us. And then Mulrooney took over with a massive thing. So we're basically, what I love is that we're speed running the 1980s now. How awesome is that? We're at 1977, and by the election in 2025, we're going to be in 1982. It's going to be great. Because the 80s were pretty fun, at least, unless you worked in a sawmill or a factory or a machining factory or any like blue collar work. Other than for them. Oh, black people not so great too. Crack. So like okay, so maybe it's not great, but it's definitely great if I ignore all the bad things. Because the synth music was pretty slick. Yeah, I'm with you, Bish. Attaching yourself to an ideology is like joining a religion with powers at SCOG. Because I wouldn't be a very good red-pilled talking head if I started talking about, yeah, conservatives are way to go, or liberals forever. Really, a more that, and I was talking about that an hour ago, that more mercenary, Zoomer attitude, I think, is going to come out. I think that's the better one. I would love if like every red pill guy who I'd like and respect and all the, you know, the peripheral guys had a unified mercenary, what's in it for me ideology, you know? Trump in office, all right, in the parts that you have control, stop fucking me, make me feel better, or I'm just not voting for you. Fuck it. All right, fair enough. Voting doesn't solve anything. Well, it solved. It memed him into the office, gave him a mandate, so it solves some things. I think people need to just like temper expectations about the influence you can have on the world, and understand that affecting change and navigating things as they stand. You have to put those two. Definitely focus on navigating things as they stand. I love Real Zero Dad for this because he's geared his career towards economic stupidity. How can I get rich off of people being fucking stupid with money? And my God, he's done well for himself, and good for him. He should have. Clary kind of tapped on it too a little bit with that Operation Evil. What if I just weaponize this same stuff the feminists were doing, but because I know guys, I do it better. So he did a little Operation Evil thing. I don't know how the money worked out for it, but I'm assuming it did well enough. Tate, oh my God. How about I take Mary Kay Cosmetics, but for men? Weaponized it, fucked over a whole bunch of guys paying $7,000 to have dinner with Ivan thrown in the fucking war room. Tell people what they want to hear. Exactly. Tell people what they want to hear. Fuck that. I'm not coming in quiet. I'm the only thing talking. Just turn up your volume, man. The coming in quiet matters on StreamYard when we're streaming together, because compared to the other people. But it's just me. You can't be just me and quiet. Just turn up the volume. What the? Trump launched a meme coin 2 days before taking office. Is he following a Hawk Twa King script? What the hell? I didn't even know. That's funny. Maybe I should start a meme coin. Yeah, I expect this 25 to be spurgerific. And I guess, so to end this off, like, what are we at? Yeah, I got about half an hour left. I've gotten all the points that I wanted to get out. I've hit all my beats. So now it could just you and me with some bants. In fact, let's do, I'm going to add the bants part at the end. What are we at now for time? 1:33. BANTZ. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's make fun of some goofy bullshit, and then we'll do some bants. Hey!
Here's a story of a cocky lady who thought her gold standard was legit. Then finally when she got an actual challenge, it all went to shit.
I've talked to Ryan Stone once. I'm pretty sure the whole conversation I pushed him like pretty hard.
What was hard, Ariel?
The therapist will essentially give them SSRIs, which I think you know the sexual effects that SSRIs have on the body, right?
Some. Like, there's tons of like MAOs and like tricyclics that you're talking about, like the type of SSRIs that used to be given to pedophiles. We don't give those to men. We don't give those to men. We don't give those to men. But he's not as informed as like I think he would like to be. Yeah.
The part that makes me laugh the most about that one is like all of a sudden you see charts and stats and spaghettis just flashing on the screen. They're too fast to read. And the idea is it's a bit of a lie, but it gets the point across. She makes a statement about SSRIs. Oh, that's not the ones we give to men nowadays. And I'm like, oh, the science says otherwise. But you're just meant to take that as like a given. Because I don't actually give you the information. I just tell you, oh, it's the information. It's right there. Which is kind of what everybody does. The difference is I'm not wrong. But I always just do find it funny. That's what every charts and graphs argument looks like. Dude, my lines go up. Oh, yeah? Well, my lines go down. Well, you're an asshole. Well, you don't like... Why do you hate women? Are you a woman? I don't even know. Put on your flannel, bitch. Oh, so that's what you mean. The ads are loud. Yeah, to be fair, that's on me because I have the ads turned up a little bit. I guess I should be able to fix that. Probably could. No idea what to do. There's an effort to give SSRIs to men that sounds like an operation. Well, it's to give it to everybody. People who are making SSRIs want to sell SSRIs. So that's why they want to give Ritalin to kids, so they're more behaved. It's basically like a convenience thing. Hey, are your kids out of control? Here, drug them up. That'll fix it. It's way easier than having to get up out of your house and taking them to the park. So yeah, bands-wise. I guess predictions is the one thing everybody loves doing, which they're always kind of shitty because like, I have predictions for 2025. And then they'll never turn out right. But then everybody's moved on and forgotten about the thing anyway. Like, I've never seen anybody go, let's see if Mike Cernovich was right about his 2025 predictions. And then you find they're always wrong. They're wrong for everybody. And to be fair, my predictions are probably wrong, but they're not really meant to be wrong or right. It's just kind of a trend. Just follow the same trend. What's the trend now? The separation between getting shit done and not getting shit done will be wider. For guys who have talent, for guys who have potential, they will continue to have talent and they will continue to have potential to the level of boot on their neck. So we might have less boot. Maybe Trump does less boot. Maybe Pierre Poilievre does less boot. Maybe they're like, oh, there's no boot. And then you end up getting the same boot or more boot. But the ones with talent will continue to do as well as they have been with talent, commensurate with the amount of boot. And for those who don't have talent, for those who don't want to have talent, for those who don't want to work, they will continue to do even worse and they will continue to suffer. You will get some people that do some bullshit like shooting people they probably shouldn't. You're probably going to get some more Slav on Slav violence. You're definitely going to get Southeast Asia or the Middle East running over somebody in a Christmas thing. Guaranteed. You can almost take that for fact. You're going to get a lot of Austrian painter references. Some of them are even going to be funny. Some of them are going to be hilarious. I'm still laughing at that one. Oh my God. Where they were like picking yourself up by your bootstraps and somebody did the path of like the Austrian painter and how he picked himself up by his bootstraps and then ended up being the emperor of the country. Like, be like him. Made me laugh. But it like, I won't write something funny like that because it breaks my 3 rules of the internet. No diddling kids, no unironic Austrian painter references, and no making fun of the Democratic Party during an election year. You follow those 3 rules, your social media online career will be long and free of bans and moderator action. You can just handle that. Silver Bishop, $5 a heart. Oh, shit. All right, let's do it.
So the meme, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha.
Named Ryan Stone.
This says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still recommend
Clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
I gotta re-record that, like bleeping out the Fs. Because I'm pretty sure that's why these things get limited ads. Limited ads, I'll put in my own with hookers and blackjack. All right, Silver Bishop, €5 super chat. A heartfelt to you, couch. After waking up from a nap, I'm going to cook soup. Life is good for me, working 6 days in January. Jesus, man, that's nice. That's really nice. The worst part is, like, I get fidgety, and so I have to make more work for myself than I need to do and overwork, and I'm trying to tone down the work right now, so I want to be able to sit down and relax and enjoy things like you. I'm just not there yet. I want to be, but I'm not there yet. Actually, I should do that because, dude, it's time for cut. Time for another cut. Time for another cut, I think. Or maybe, no, cut. Because January is the best time. Start getting down to the pool and swim daily. Plans are worthless, but planning is everything. Yeah, audio. Oh, dude, you guys are talking audio stuff. I'll read that later. I'm dead. Oh, geez, you guys all got some stories here. Nice. Unskippable ads for your pleasure. To be fair, the difference between my ads and the other ads on YouTube is at least mine are fucking entertaining. The one thing they don't talk about is the show or the product, but they're fucking... It reminds me of like the old days when commercials used to be good as a creative medium on their own. Like Miller Lite wasn't ads about buying beer. It wasn't ideological capture or anything like that. It was like, hey, do you want to see 2 guys at the pool who spray beer on chicks and their boobs grow? I'm like, dude, do I ever? That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah. That's what I want to aim for. I want the ads louder, more. Luckily, there's no beer hall speaking in Munich anymore, so there's no danger from that. Yeah. I've Zoomer Historian. He's a guy on YouTube. He kind of does like a non-biased history of the 1930s and 40s. I find it kind of interesting. There's little things I never thought to ask. Like when he mentions that question, it's like, hey, how come they never translate those speeches into English? And I listened to one, I was like, oh, I guess I can see why. Yeah, storytelling. And that's the thing. The 30-second commercial was one of the greatest pieces of one of the greatest inventions in human history. The ability to tell a story in 30 seconds, visually stimulating like that. It's managed to move mountains. Managed to move mountains. The fact that I still have a jingle in my head from a commercial they stopped playing in like 1994. Honk if you like Vern Fonk. I still got that fucking song in my head for like 30 years later. It's crazy how effective that is. Johnny Trejo. Hello, sir. $9.99 super chat. Good morning, couch. Good morning, Johnny Trejo. Finishing up work, cleaning this office account makes my Saturday that much better. Oh, dude. If I can help make your Saturday just that little bit more enjoyable, I will have considered this a success. Absolutely, 100%. So I guess to sum up the thing here, so we're winding down. We'll probably do some crowd work here at the end just for another 10 minutes. To sum it up, the traditional conservative thing, it's a trap. It's a con. It's no different than the feminist boot stepping on your neck for being a white man or whatever the hell they want to call you, or just like men deserve nothing and women are the future. Nepo baby bullshit. It's the same thing. It's just coming out from the other angle, pretending to be benevolent. And that's it. And all the talking heads are absolutely out of touch, have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They're just reading what's from the teleprompter. A lot of them are just there because, dude, I want to score all of the hot art chicks for myself. I want you guys working in a fast food joint in your 40s. Fuck that. Ignore all of it. The arguments aren't sincere. Don't argue with it on the merits. Just realize it's somebody trying to bully you using female speaking tactics where they just womanese. I'm just going to lie to him until he does what I want. Don't fall for it. Carve out your own path. And yes, there's some things you can petition, make them a little bit better. Trump train, Polyev, whatever. But don't put your hopes on dreams for the savior coming down to fix your life, because they probably aren't. At best, temper your expectations. At best, you're going to get incremental change that eases pressure off of you. Sure, maybe. But you can't assume that. You go forward as if things are equally shitty. Find yourself a path. Talk to other men, swap notes. Because the one thing if I've learned nothing else from the red pill, and I haven't, is that you get enough guys together who've got a grievance, and they start swapping notes about, what's going on, articulate the problem, what have I tried to get out of it, what effect did I have. If you get enough guys together on any topic, whether it be sexual strategy, the economy, work, life balance, relationships, whatever, guys will figure out how to manage it. We are very good like that. In the same way we used to hunt mammoths back in the cave days by talking to each other. How best to stab him in the neck with a spear. How best not to get stepped on. Hey, you see that big ivory-shaped thing there? Don't get gored by that. All right, I'll try it out. And don't let Matt Walsh in the cave painting cave with all the chicks talk about, a real man would pick berries. It's like, fuck you, cave Matt Walsh. And stay away from my cave, bitch, or I'll hit you with a cudgel. Whoa, why so angry? All right, so that's it for this one. I don't know who's hosting Rule Zero. I don't see it on my list of what do they call it? Redirects. I'll check one more time. And to be honest, I'm just tired of asking. Like, if you put it there, I will fucking link it. I will redirect it. But I'm tired of having to fight to give people traffic. So it's just, you guys can find it. Somebody will know. Of course, it's fucking Cappy. I'll probably be there for a bit. Dog Walker. Oh, Prax Volume 3. If you haven't got it yet, if you're wondering about it, it is worth. It's nice, easy, light reading. It's a very aesthetically pleasing book. It's all the red pilled field report stuff you had before, so you have any interest in the space, absolutely grab yourself a copy. It'll be 100% worth it. Definitely not off-putting. Your girlfriend won't dump you for having it in the living room. The Substack still going strong, still doing field reports and case studies, same thing every week. So you want to see a more raw, unfiltered academic version of that, absolutely go there. Dog Walker and Fuck Files are coming out in 2 weeks. Fuck Files is first with the redacted 13th chapter has been added. New hardcover, new paperback. Dog Walker will be out 2 weeks later. The first delve into fiction. You're going to love it. Like I said, I read you the blurb. Go read the blurb now. It's exactly what you're in for. Pre-orders are out now. They're still going strong. It's going to be awesome. I like how day one, everybody's going to get that copy sent right to them. So it's like you're not going to miss a second. You're going to be the first one on that train. I think it's going to be great. And then stay tuned. We got more stuff coming. I'm gonna entertain the fuck out of you for so long. You have no idea. Dude, get on Orion. My next video, I was going to... All right, so I'll end on this. The next video I was going to do for Orion was one on Six String Samurai, which is an indie film coming out of Hong Kong that most people haven't heard of, but it's pretty fun. Like, the premise is, picture a samurai, like a Ronin, who looks like Buddy Holly, on a trip to Elvis, or on a trip to Vegas, because Elvis has died, to be the new king of America. The Russians have taken over America, and the man is being hunted by Death himself, who also happens to be Slash from Guns N' Roses. It's a guitar, sword fighting, kung fu adventure. It's hard to explain. It's really good. It's a movie with heart. It's kind of the same, like if you ever watched Turbo Kid, which is a Canadian movie, with Michael Ironside, about a kid who finds an old space adventure suit and power glove and tries to free people. It's like a Fist of the North Star homage. The first one's called Six String Samurai. And the dude was like one of those guys who worked in Hong Kong with like Jackie Chan and shit too. So he's really good. The choreography is pretty good for the martial arts. Yeah, the whole things are weird stories, but they're just really well put together. I want to do Turbo Kid and I want to do Six String Samurai, but the King of the Kickboxers DMCA bullshit, they got me a fucking strike after we sorted it all out and they just stopped responding to my emails. Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai would be kind of like an Americanized version of it. But all those ones, I enjoy them because they're so absurd that the story has to be good to hold it all together, and they all do a good job of it. So we'll see. But I think that's going to be the next one, although my girl wants me to do Flash Gordon, so I might just cuck out and do the mainstream Flash Gordon one and not go for the indie stuff, but yeah. And yes, I saw your thing about the Fortress. Are you talking about the one with Sean Connery and what's his face? Is that the one that's got the dude from Highlander, Chris whatever? Or is this some new slop? Oh, a 2017 one. South Korean epic drama film from Lee Byung-hun and Kim Yoon-suk. Maybe. The Man with No Name was fucking good. Flash Gordon, a savior of the universe. Yeah, fun stuff. It's what Star Wars should have been. Anyways, that's it for me. We'll see you guys with Clary in a little bit. Have fun. Enjoy your Saturday. Have some breakfast. Have a nooner with the old lady. Don't forget to get the book. Pre-order this one. Buy the other one. It's fucking worth it. Cheers.
'79T 2458 Learning Corp. Little Red Riding Hood. Take one.